Hello, star seekers. Hello, astrology enthusiasts. I am Hannah. Welcome back to my channel. I want to chat with you about this huge Capricorn party in the sky right now. There is a huge boardroom, so to speak, because there's so many planets in Capricorn, and I want to show you this. I want to tell you all about it. And if you like this video, please give me the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And also please share, please pass this information forward, which I really hope it's super helpful in the current time. So please pass it along. So here you see the chart of our sky right now, our heavens. We have Mars, the planet Mars, Venus, the Sun, Mercury, Juno, the asteroid Juno, and the asteroid Vesta, all in Capricorn. So this is a lot of planets in Capricorn. There's this big cluster in the sign of Capricorn. And not only that, but the upcoming new moon, which will be on January 18th, that's also going to be in Capricorn. So this is the vibe, this is the energy, this is the theme of January. And Capricorn is all about results. If astrology had a dress code, right now the dress code would be structured, very intentional, serious, and very strategic. Capricorn is really giving us the message. So many planets in Capricorn is giving us the message to get down to business, to get things done, to have a plan, to work hard, to be focused, to bring discipline and strategy, and very much a long-term vision. So it's really perfect for that New Year's resolution, right? Because we're looking ahead and thinking, okay, what needs to get done and how will I get there? What is the plan? What is the step by step? So it's all about commitment. It's all about sustained effort. This is how we work with the Capricorn energy. It's commitment over comfort. It's showing up every day. It's one step at a time, one break at a time without shortcuts. And really, it's about building something that lasts. So, whatever your goal is, hopefully, you're starting this year full of goals with a big vision for the year, what you want to do and accomplish. Now, Capricorn is saying, all right, how do we get there? So, it's not about quick wins and it's not about instant gratification. Again, it's the brick by brick. So, this is a time that's really good for career moves, planning, negotiations, new contracts, business meetings, restructuring your life, restructuring your schedule, your priorities. Because the Capricorn energy says, all right, let's be honest. What actually matters in our lives? So it's a time to be productive. When we have that many planets in Capricorn, as you can see there in the chart, there's a lot of energy there. So it's keeping us busy, purpose-driven, and productive. So it's the kind of energy that can really keep us working really long hours. And this is not just about work and profession and career, it's very much about that. But Capricorn is everything that you're building towards, everything that you are working on. So this is very much about being a parent, being a student. Capricorn is about all the roles that we take in this life. And how are we showing up in these roles? So right now, it's about really working on that, working on our roles, working on our work, making decisions and getting very clear. So look at your life, especially as we're right in the beginning of this year. So we're looking at, where am I? Where do I want to be? And how do I get there? And stop wasting time. That's the big message of Capricorn. Stop wasting your precious time. Get it done, especially with Mars in Capricorn. So it's a building month, it's a building few weeks, and each planet is contributing this party. And I've actually done individual videos about each one of this configuration. But I just want to kind of give you a summary of each planet in Capricorn, what it means, and what's the message for us. So the sun is in Capricorn. The sun in the chart is the little circle with the dot in the middle. And sun is the spotlight. Sun is what is being illuminated in our lives. And what are we illuminating? Where are we putting our life force energy into? So again, responsibilities, ambition, life direction, how we identify with our goals, our work, the things that we want to accomplish. Mercury is how we operate, is our mind, is our conversations. It's our mode of operation for those weeks. So when Mercury is in Capricorn, it's saying, it's a very clear message. It says, organize your life, streamline your routines, think long term and build and plan strategically. Again, what do you want to build? How do you get there? It's a great moment to really, come up with a plan. Conversations, Mercury is all about the conversations we have. Conversations are all about practicality, focused. So it's less fluff and more function. Another planet is Mars. Mars is currently in Capricorn. I created a video just focusing on Mars and Capricorn. So please check that because it's a really Mars in Capricorn is one of the strongest placements there is. So I'm going to have the link for that video in the description. So please check it out. And Mars in Capricorn is all about drive, discipline, stamina, very sharp focus. So this is not a Mars that is reactive or impulsive. It's a consistent, determined, forward motion Mars. So it's an incredible Mars energy to really get things done, to use it to advance our goals, to you know, think about the most simple thing. It doesn't have to be something monumental. Um, I want to eat better, right? Mars and Capricorn, you go to the grocery store, you sign up for the gym, you start exercising. It gives you that power and stamina to get things done. Another one is Venus in Capricorn. Venus speaks all about money and finances. So it's a time for long-term investments. And Venus is all about relationships. So in Capricorn, it's really saying that it's a time to restructure how we are spending money. It's a very conservative energy. And it's seeing, where it's budgeting, it's making sure we are spending our money in a way that it comes with that long-term perspective. So it's less wasteful and more strategic. And really, how can we use our finances, our money, our investments, the way we make money, the way we spend money? How can we use that to support our long-term goals? And also relationships. So there's another video that I've created just about Venus and Capricorn, how to utilize this energy. What does that mean in our relationship? So definitely check that out. I'll also have the link for you in the description. And then another one is Juno. Juno is an asteroid. Juno is also in Capricorn. And Juno, again, is also about relationships, commitment, our contracts, our agreements and our long-term alliances. So this is serious partnership energy, in our personal lives, but also in our professional lives as well. So all of these planets and asteroids in Capricorn speak about new goals, new responsibilities, setting new goals. So realizing what needs to be done, what needs to be prepared, where do I need to take more responsibility, and maybe also stepping into leadership positions, authority roles in your life. Capricorn really asks of us not so much about what do you want to do, but it's asking, what are you willing to work for? And we need to also look at the ruler of the stellium. So this party, the stellium, this cluster of planets in Capricorn, is ruled by the planet Saturn, right? So Saturn, to fully understand what this Capricorn concentration is asking of us, we also have to look at where Saturn is in the sky right now. And Saturn is currently in Pisces, conjunct Neptune. So Saturn and Neptune are together, and they're both moving through the final degrees of the zodiac. And this is a really big deal because the last degrees of Pisces mark that moment of completion, dissolution, endings. And it's not just the ending of the sign of Pisces, it's the ending of the whole zodiac, right? The zodiac starts in Aries, ends in Pisces. So one experience that you might have, or you might experience this around you, is things falling apart. Structures, roles, systems, people, things that were on once stable and strong and reliable, and things that were working really well can malfunction or collapse or dissolve because, this is a moment to finish things and start new cycles. So we can see this in our lives, with all the Capricorn figures that are part of our lives. So our parents, our elders, our mentors, our teachers, all the authority figures, and that's, including the authority figures in the world, in government, in our institutions, at our work, at our jobs, our bosses, our supervisors, the people who have Capricorn roles, which are the authority roles, the role models. And this is the same thing about in relationship to us, the places in our lives where we are taking places that we are taking roles of authority and leadership. So the places where we are the teachers, where we are the mentors, where we are the parents, where we are the boss, right? And also the roles that we're taking on our own in our own family units as well. So the people and the structures that once maybe we've been leaned on may feel overwhelmed. They might be carrying too much responsibility, or maybe you realize that they are weaker, they're more vulnerable, and they're even maybe even absent. So this takes us to a place where we might need to show up. We might need to get the job done. So this month, and this is also vice versa, where you as an authority might need to step aside for whatever reason because you are going through something, or you maybe there's a health issue, maybe there's something that makes you feel not able to get the job done, so someone else has to step up to make sure that whatever needs to get done gets done. So it's a month where there can be a lot of lessons from authority figures. There can be a lot of increased responsibility. This could be within the family unit, this could be at work. Um, and also Capricorn has so much to do with our ancestors, our lineage. So there's something here also about connecting with our lineages, maybe stepping into a new position within our own ancestry line. And Capricorn brings maturity, it brings duty, and it also brings pressure and responsibility. So this month, it's about stepping into our own authority, and either because you're choosing to, or because there's opportunities that take you there willingly, or because you have to step up for someone else and do their job, right? Their job becomes your job, or vice versa. You have to let someone else do the job for you because you're unable to get it done. So again, this could happen in the family, at work, and in your personal life. Um, and there's a level of heaviness to Capricorn as well. So be mindful that this is a month where there could be a heavier weight to carry. And to not forget about, we can, Capricorn can never forget about Cancer. Cancer is the polarity of Capricorn. Every sign has a polarity. And every polarity is giving us important information about how that sign is meant to be operating. So we're not in one extreme. And for Capricorn is all about bringing the Cancer, which is about self-care, which is about slowing down, which is about, getting the massage and, sleeping in a little bit longer. So you can't have some time for yourself as well to take care of yourself and to also pay attention to your emotions, to how you're feeling, to what your needs are. So it's a month where you can be taking on more responsibility. So one suggestion here is make time for yourself in whatever way, shape, or form that's possible, and also ask for help. That's Cancer. We open up to receive from others that can help us. And in Capricorn, there's always a tendency of taking on too much. And, in many ways, closing our fields to receive help from others, from life itself. So on a collective level, Capricorn has everything to do with governments, has everything to do with institutions, corporations, leadership structures, and all sorts of systems of power. Those are very Capricorn institutions. When Saturn and Neptune meeting in Pisces, which is happening, they've been walking hand in hand, Saturn and Neptune, since 2025, which means that it's like they become one planet. Saturn and Neptune joining forces, they become a matter planet, so to speak. So, and then they're going to meet exactly at the 0 degree of Aries, which is such a big deal. So what we're going to see this year is old structures dissolving, old leadership, people who have been in leadership for a very long time, and collapsing and new ones beginning to form. So we're probably going to see, and I'm speaking about this month, but really I'm speaking about this year. We probably will see major institutional decisions, policy shifts, a lot of organizations being restructured, leaders being tested, leaders that are falling, leaders that are stepping down, leaders that are exposed, but also new leadership coming to the forefront. And we're already seeing this, and that's something that's going to continue. All right, so a big message here with this Capricorn stellium, a few questions to ponder upon this month is, what are you building? What are you building in your life? Is it sustainable? Does it align with your long-term vision? And are you willing to commit, right? This is foundational stuff that we're working on. And I love that we get to start this year with this energy because we can have that long-term goal or plan. And it doesn't mean there's no flexibility to the plan, but we see that finish line. What do we want to accomplish? And how do we get there? All right. So one last thing that I want to mention is the opposition. So if you look at the chart, you see the big cluster of planets in Capricorn, right? The big stellium in Capricorn. That is opposite Jupiter in Cancer. So again, this really activates the Cancer Capricorn axis, which is all about, the Cancer Capricorn axis is all about home and family, our elders, our ancestors. It's all about emotional security. And it's always that ongoing conversation about our personal needs, versus our professional, collective demands. So Cancer wants to feel safe, wants to feel held, wants to feel emotionally supported. Whereas Capricorn wants to get things done. It wants to build. It wants to move forward. So these two energies are in direct conversation right now. And what we have to be mindful is the potential for conflict, especially when the planet Mars, currently in Capricorn, is going to exactly oppose Jupiter in Cancer. So this is, think about this being particularly strong from January, around January 7th, January 8th until around January 15th, that week. So Jupiter is all about our belief systems. And in Cancer, there can be a lot of belief systems rooted in emotion, a lot of personal truths, and a lot of even personal truths coming from family culture, the homeland. This is big on nationalism. And when we have the Mars, this this opposition between Jupiter and Mars, things can escalate pretty quickly because Mars, wherever Mars is, it can bring confrontations and power struggles and stressful responses. So wherever Mars is, this is the place where we can get more reactive, more defensive. So here we have the potential for power struggles, for battles about ideas, even about religious ideas. So arguments that are really about even moral, Capricorn, what is right. And so a lot here that can become and escalate pretty quickly to I'm right, you're wrong, that type of energy. And we already have enough of that in the world, right? So words can escalate pretty fast here, and reactions can be bigger than intended. So maybe part of the strategy for the moment is biting our tongue a little bit. That can actually be a wise strategy, not out of suppression, but out of emotional intelligence, knowing that we are moving into a week where small disagreements can become major conflicts. Small emotional triggers can turn into big power struggles, right? And you can see people having their beliefs very rigid and even uncompromising, or maybe you're feeling that like that. Maybe you're feeling not willing to compromise. But the invitation here is not to win. The invitation is to pause and to check in. Is this worth, really a fallout, a problem? It's something that can become bigger than it needs to be. Okay. And on a broader collective expression, we might see a lot of ideological polarization and even religious, moral stuff, moral conflicts, intensified belief driven reactions, which can even lead to killing, aggression, violence. Hopefully, we won't see this extreme reaction in the world, but that's a potential, that's a possibility. And a lot of cultural, racial, based hostility. So the more aware we are, the better we can choose how to use these energies, how to show up in the world. So to me, the deeper invitation here in this Capricorn Cancer opposition is to bring your ambition with love, with care, with your heart, with compassion, and bring your truth, but also with emotional sensitivity, remembering that every altar is sacred, and not every truth needs to be proven, right? Not every battle needs to be won. So sometime the most Capricorn move, the best strategic Capricornian move is to choose wisdom over escalation, over fighting, over being right. So it's a time to embody the light, to be the light we want to see in the world. We've entered a year that carries truly the last gasp of an old paradigm and structures and forces that have held power for a really long time are struggling or will struggle to maintain control. And that tension will be felt, can be felt at every level, in our personal lives, our collective experience. And this is why the wisdom of Capricorn, the true wisdom of Capricorn, which is presence and integrity, and our consciousness really matter more than ever. So I hope this has been helpful. Stay tuned for my next video on the new moon in Capricorn happening on January 18th. It's a very powerful new moon for setting intentions, initiating long-term goals, aligning with the next chapter in our lives. And it's the very first new moon of 2026. So in the meantime, be safe, be strategic, and get the work done. And on that note, I will see you next time.